They say Christmas is a time for miracles. Jude Mercer boards the plane on December 22nd with a 6-month-old baby, 2 bags containing everything she owns, and desperately hoping the saying is true. She shifts Bonnie higher on her hip as she navigates the crowded aisle, her diaper bag sliding off her shoulder for the 3rd time. She almost turns to ask Ryan for help before remembering. Right. Ryan left 7 months ago. It's just her now. So far, miracles are in short supply. Her seat is double booked. The man currently occupying 23E barely glances at his boarding pass before shrugging and refusing to move. The flight attendant looks harried, and Jude braces herself to be kicked off the plane entirely when the pilot's voice crackles over the intercom about a massive snowstorm approaching their destination. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But then the flight attendant pulls her aside. We have 1 seat in first class. Would that work? First class, on Christmas week, for free. Maybe there's some magic left after all. Suddenly, it feels like Jude has stepped into a different dimension. The seats are actual chairs, the lighting is warm and soft, quiet jazz plays from hidden speakers. A flight attendant is offering someone champagne. Jude feels like she just walked into someone else's vacation. Maybe there's some magic left after all. The attendant leads her through the curtain into what feels like a different universe. Soft lighting. Actual legroom. Leather seats that look like they belong in someone's living room, not an airplane. Jude follows behind her, trying to figure out if tipping a flight attendant is appropriate or weird. Thank you so much, she says. This is really, I know it's just a seat, but... Here you are, ma'am. The flight attendant interrupts, pointing to her seat. Jude's still talking as sets down her bag. With the baby and everything, this is just so... She suddenly looks up and the words die in her throat. The window seat is already occupied. By a man. A man who is not merely handsome, no. Simply beautiful in a way that makes her forget how to function like a normal human being. Dark hair that's slightly tousled like he's run his hands through it. Strong jawline. The kind of bone structure that belongs on magazine covers. Jude's brain completely short-circuits. He's wearing an expensive charcoal suit, crisp white shirt open at the collar, and he's staring out the window with an intensity that suggests he's either deep in thought or deliberately ignoring the entire plane. Discreetly, Jude lowers her nose to her own shirt and inhales. Yep, she smells like regurgitation and sweat, and she's about to sit next to that for 2 hours. Ma'am, the flight attendant prompts gently, probably wondering why Jude has suddenly transformed into a statue. Right, moving, words, basic human functions. Sorry, yes, thank you, Jude manages, her voice coming out slightly strangled. She settles into her seat as quietly as possible. Bonnie's getting squirmy, making little grunting sounds of displeasure. Sorry, Jude whispers toward the man, even though he hasn't acknowledged her existence. We'll try to stay quiet. No response. He doesn't even glance over. Right, so she's invisible. That's fine, probably better, all things considered. She gets Bonnie situated with a bottle, which buys her maybe 20 minutes of peace. The baby settles, making soft sucking sounds, her little hand curled around Jude's finger. The plane begins to taxi. The man beside her finally closes his laptop but still doesn't look her way. The engines hum. The flight attendants do their safety demonstration. Jude tries to pay attention, but her eyes keep drifting shut. Bonnie's warm weight in her arms, the comfortable seat, the gentle vibration of the plane. It's all conspiring against her. The plane lifts off. Jude tries to stay awake, she really does. But she hasn't slept in 36 hours. Her body is staging a full rebellion. The seat is so comfortable. The cabin is warm and quiet. Bonnie's content for the first time in hours. Her eyes drift closed. She's asleep before she can stop herself, tumbling into the first real rest she's had in days. She doesn't see the man finally turn to look at her. Doesn't see his expression shift from surprise to something softer as he takes in the sleeping woman and baby. They say Christmas is a time for miracles. Jude's about to wake up to hers. Chapter 1. Jude wakes up to the feeling of something warm and solid beneath her cheek, and for one blissful, disoriented moment, she can't remember where she is. Then awareness trickles in, a firm shoulder, the subtle scent of expensive cologne, something woodsy and clean, steady breathing beside her, the low hum of airplane engines. Her eyes snap open. Oh no. She's draped across the hot businessman's shoulder like he's a pillow she ordered off Amazon. Her mouth feels suspiciously dry, which means she was probably sleeping with it open, which means she was probably drooling. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Maybe if she moves very slowly, he won't notice. Maybe he fell asleep too. Maybe she can just ease away and pretend this never happened and die of embarrassment in private like a dignified person. She shifts carefully, trying to unstick her cheek from his suit jacket without making it obvious. She looks up. He's staring right at her. Their eyes meet. His are dark, intense, unfairly beautiful, and very, very awake. Jude's brain completely flatlines. "Oh, God," she blurts, jerking upright. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to." He raises one eyebrow, his expression completely unreadable. Waiting. "I wasn't sleeping," Jude hears herself say in a rush, which is possibly the stupidest lie she's ever told. "I was meditating. It's a thing, a breathing exercise, very calming for flights." The other eyebrow joins the first. "You drool when you meditate?" he asks, voice dry as desert sand. He gives his shoulder the tiniest shake, where there is definitely, unmistakably, a wet spot. Jude wants the floor of the airplane to open up and swallow her whole. "That's not... I don't usually..." She's sputtering now, face burning hot enough to cook an egg on. "I'm sorry about your jacket. I can pay for dry cleaning. Do you take Venmo? I have like $47, but..." She stops, because she's just noticed something else. He's holding Bonnie. Her baby is sitting calmly on his lap, one of his large hands supporting her back, the other gently bouncing her. Bonnie is gurgling. Actually happy, content in the arms of a complete stranger. "What are you doing?" The words come out sharper than Jude intends, maternal panic overriding embarrassment. The man doesn't flinch. His expression stays calm, almost patient. "She woke up fussing about 20 minutes ago," he says evenly. "You were finally sleeping. I didn't want her to wake you." He glances down at Bonnie, something softening in his face. "I remember what it's like when they're this age. I never slept either." Jude blinks. Oh, he's a dad. Not just a gorgeous, intimidating businessman in an expensive suit. He's a father. Someone who understands the specific hell of infant sleep schedules and the desperate mathematics of stolen rest. Her shoulders drop immediately. That invisible wall of tension dissolves. There's a language parents speak to each other, a silent understanding that transcends everything else. He's one of them. "You have kids?" she asks, settling back into her seat, feeling oddly less self-conscious now. "A daughter. She's almost 13. His mouth does something complicated, not quite a smile. Which comes with a whole different set of challenges. Jude winces sympathetically. The teenage years. Is it as bad as everyone says?" "Worse." He adjusts Bonnie slightly, and she makes a happy sound, grabbing at his tie. "I'm pretty sure she hates me most days. The other days, she just ignores my existence entirely." There's pain there, hidden beneath the dry humor. Jude recognizes it immediately. The specific ache of loving someone who won't let you close. "She doesn't hate you," Jude says gently. "Teenagers are just practicing being adults badly. Give her time." He looks at her then, really looks, and something passes between them. Understanding. Connection. The kind of moment that feels too intimate for two strangers on an airplane. "I'm Landon," he says. "Landon Harlow." "Jude. Jude Mercer." She reaches out to take Bonnie back. "And this is Bonnie, who apparently likes you better than her own mother." "I doubt that." But he hands the baby over carefully, making sure Jude has her securely before letting go. His hands are warm, strong. There's something oddly careful about the way he moves, like he's constantly aware of his own strength. Jude's about to say something else, maybe thank him again, maybe ask where he's heading for Christmas, when the plane lurches. Hard. Her stomach drops. Passengers gasp. Overhead bins rattle ominously. The cabin lights flicker. Bonnie lets out a startled cry. Landon moves fast. Impossibly fast. 1 second Jude's holding Bonnie. The next his hands are there, steadying both of them, his body angling to shield them from the worst of the turbulence. She barely saw him move. It was just instant. Reflexive. "I've got you," he says, voice calm and certain even as the plane shakes again. Hold her close. It's safer than trying to strap her back in right now. The plane pitches. Jude's fingers dig into Bonnie, her heart hammering, but Landon's hand is braced against her seat back, keeping them steady. He's completely balanced, despite the turbulence, like he's rooted to the floor through sheer force of will. How is he so stable? The pilot's voice crackles over the intercom, strained and tight. Folks, we're experiencing some severe weather. For your safety, we'll be making an emergency landing at a regional airport nearby. Flight attendants, prepare the cabin. Emergency landing. The words don't feel real. Around them, people are panicking. A woman across the aisle is crying. A man is gripping his armrests so hard his knuckles are white. But Landon is a wall of calm. Look at me, he says to Jude, his voice cutting through her rising panic. Breathe. We're going to be fine, I promise. She doesn't know why she believes him. But she does. The descent is rough. The plane shakes and rattles, and Bonnie cries against Jude's chest, and Jude focuses on Landon's dark eyes and the steadiness of his presence and the way he keeps his hand braced protectively near them the entire time. The wheels hit the ground hard. The plane bounces once, twice, then settles with a screech of brakes and a collective exhale from every passenger on board. They're down. Safe. Jude lets out a shaky breath, her whole body trembling with leftover adrenaline. Bonnie is still crying softly, and Jude rocks her automatically, making soothing sounds she doesn't even register. You okay? Landon asks quietly. She looks at him, really looks. At how calm he stayed, how protective, how his reflexes were too fast, his balance too perfect, his presence too solid for a normal person in a crisis. Something about him doesn't add up. Something she can't quite name. But right now, with her heart still racing and her baby in her arms and solid ground beneath them, she's just grateful. Yeah, she manages. Thanks to you. His expression shifts, something warm flickering in those dark eyes. Anytime. And Jude has the strangest feeling he means it. Chapter 2. The regional airport their plane emergency landed in is dismal. That's Jude's first coherent thought as she steps off the plane, Bonnie heavy in her arms and her bags threatening to slide off her shoulder. Half the overhead lights are flickering. Most of the shops have their metal gates pulled down. The only thing open is a sad-looking coffee kiosk with a bored teenager scrolling on his phone. Through the massive windows, snow is falling, not the pretty, peaceful kind, but aggressive flurries that swirl and bite. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Bonnie whimpers, and Jude adjusts her grip, heading toward the airline counter where a line is already forming. Jude takes her place at the back, trying to bounce Bonnie into contentment. It's not working. Miss? A woman in front of her turns around. Do you want to go ahead? You've got your hands full. Gratitude wells up in Jude's chest. Thank you. The small crowd parts, and suddenly Jude's at the counter, facing a tired-looking woman whose name tag reads Sharon. Hi, Jude says, trying for a smile. Can you tell me what's happening? All flights are grounded, Sharon says with the flat delivery of someone who's said the same thing 50 times. Severe weather alert. Nothing's going out until tomorrow morning at the earliest. Tomorrow? But I have a connecting flight. I'm supposed to... Let me check. Sharon's fingers fly over her keyboard. Your connecting flight was out of Portland, departing tonight at 9. You've missed it. I know, but can we rebook for tomorrow or the next day? Everything's booked solid through Christmas. Sharon's voice is genuinely apologetic. It's the holidays. I'm sorry. Jude's chin starts trembling. She bites the inside of her cheek hard. Look, Sharon says gently, sliding a piece of paper across the counter. Write down your contact information. If anything opens up, we'll call you immediately. Jude scribbles down her phone number and email address, then steps away. She finds an empty seat and drops into it. Bonnie starts fussing harder. Jude forces herself to move, unzipping her suitcase and pulling out the warmer jacket and fleece blanket. Come here, baby, she murmurs. Let's get you warm. Bonnie gurgles and immediately grabs a fistful of Jude's hair, yanking hard. Jude smiles. You're very strong, you know that? Bonnie laughs, that pure, delighted baby laugh. Jude's heart melts. Yeah, we're going to be okay, somehow. She glances up and sees Landon standing by the windows, phone pressed to his ear. The regional airport, yes, she hears him say. How soon can you get here? Someone's coming to get him, of course. Footsteps approach. Jude? She looks up to find Landon standing in front of her, coat draped over one arm. Are you going to be all right? He asks. Yeah, of course. We're fine. The airline said they'd call when something opens up. Landon frowns. Really? Because all flights are grounded until at least tomorrow. Probably longer, given how this storm looks. I'm sure. Landon studies her. You should at least get a hotel room, somewhere warm to wait. Right. Yeah, good idea. Landon looks like he wants to say something else. Okay, well, good luck then. Jude watches him go, her forced smile crumbling. She pulls out her phone with shaking hands. 4782. The number mocks her. Not enough for a hotel? Not even close. Bonnie's whimpering escalates into real crying now. Jude tries to bounce her, shush her, but it's not working. And suddenly Jude is crying too. Silent tears streaming down her face while she rocks her wailing daughter in a dingy airport terminal on December 22nd, with nowhere to go and $47 to her name. Hey. Jude's head jerks up. Landon is back. He looks uncomfortable, like he's not sure he should be here but couldn't make himself leave. Did you find a hotel? He asks gently. Jude can't answer, can't make the lie come out. I just overheard someone say everything nearby is getting booked up, Landon continues. Do you need help calling around? He stops when he sees the tears streaming down her face. Hey, he says again, softer. He sits down beside her, not too close, but near enough that his presence feels solid. It's going to be okay. I don't have enough money, Jude hears herself say through tears, for a hotel. That's why I'm going back to my grandma's even though we don't get along. I lost my apartment after my husband left, and everything I own is in this suitcase, and now I'm stuck here with my baby. She cuts herself off, mortified. I'm sorry, you should go. Your ride is probably... Don't apologize, Landon says firmly, pulling out his phone. It's perfectly all right to need help sometimes. Look, I'll book you a room. No, I can't let you pay for... You can pay me back when you're settled if that makes you feel better. But really, it's not a big deal. He puts the phone to his ear and Jude sits there frozen. Hi, yes, I need a room for tonight. A pause. Nothing? Are you sure? He tries another number. Completely sold out. With each rejection, Jude watches the hope drain from his face. This is ridiculous, he mutters after the fifth call. There has to be something. Sir? A man in a dark suit approaches. The car's ready for you outside whenever you're set. Thanks, Grayson. Just give me another minute. The driver retreats. Landon turns back to Jude and she forces a smile. Thank you for trying, really, but you should go. He doesn't move. Instead, he looks at her and says, Come with me. Jude blinks. What? Come where? To my house. There's plenty of room. You and Bonnie can stay until the flights resume. I don't even know you. Landon shifts slightly, looking almost nervous. Look, I understand. This probably seems weird, maybe unsafe. But my entire family is going to be there. My parents, my 13-year-old daughter River. My brother and his family are arriving tomorrow. It's not just me, in some isolated house. And honestly, he glances toward the windows, where the snow is now a full blizzard. It's a lot better than spending Christmas Eve in this airport. Jude's mind is racing. Is this insane? But what's her alternative? Can you give me just a minute? She asks. I need to change Bonnie. In the bathroom, Jude changes Bonnie's diaper with trembling hands. She pulls out her phone and types Landon Harlow into the search bar. CEO of Harlow Industries, tech company worth millions, photos of him at charity galas, business conferences. Everything looks legitimate. Jude stares down at Bonnie, who's gurgling happily. What do you think, baby girl? Should we trust the handsome stranger? Bonnie reaches up and grabs her nose. Jude takes that as a yes. She heads back to the waiting area. Landon is exactly where she left him. Okay, Jude says. Thank you, I really appreciate this. The relief on his face is immediate. It's no problem. He reaches for her suitcase, lifting it like it weighs nothing. Jude follows him toward the exit, Bonnie bundled against her chest. Through the glass doors, she can see a sleek black SUV waiting at the curb. The snow is falling harder now, and Jude is about to get into a stranger's car. Chapter 3. The SUV glides through the dark streets, smooth and quiet enough that Bonnie has finally fallen asleep in Jude's arms. Jude stares out the window, watching the neighborhoods change as they drive. The houses get bigger. The lots get wider. Almost there, Landon says from beside her. Jude turns to look at him and, for just a second, his eyes seem to glow. Gold, bright, catching the light wrong. She blinks hard. When she looks again, they're perfectly normal. Dark. Must have been the streetlights. Still, she watches him, slightly tense. He's taken off his tie and suit jacket at some point during the drive. His sleeves are rolled up to his elbows, revealing forearms that are decidedly more muscular than she expected. "Is it too warm?" she asks. "I can ask the driver to turn down the heat." "I'm fine," Landon says easily. "I run hot." Jude nods. The silence is starting to feel heavy. Is Landon regretting taking her with him? But then the view outside her window shifts. The SUV slows in front of an ornate iron gate which slides open smoothly. They turn onto a long, winding driveway and... Jude's jaw drops. Landon's estate is massive, but somehow still manages to feel warm and inviting. 3 stories of beautiful stone and timber, with tall windows glowing golden. The light spills out onto the snow-covered grounds, making everything look magical. Her breathing picks up as the reality crashes over her. This isn't just wealthy. This is the kind of rich she's only ever seen in magazines. She's never had more than 4 digits in her bank account at once. And she's about to walk into that house with her baby and her single suitcase. "Full disclosure," Landon says suddenly, grimacing. "My dad makes terrible jokes." Jude blinks. "Dad jokes." Landon clarifies, looking almost embarrassed. "Really bad ones, just warning you." "Oh," Jude nods. "That's okay, I'm a good audience." It's such a normal thing to worry about that it's reassuring. The SUV comes to a stop. A tall man steps out onto the porch, grinning wide, bouncing on the balls of his feet like an oversized golden retriever. "You should stay the night," Jude hears Landon say to the driver. "No point braving the blizzard." "Understood, Alpha." Jude frowns slightly. "Alpha? That's weird." Must be some corporate thing, she thinks. But then she sees the driver bow his head, actually bow, before driving away. Do rich people expect people to bow to them? Jude had no idea. "Welcome, welcome," the tall man calls. "Come on, hurry inside. Don't keep the baby out in this wind." The entrance hall is enormous, marble floors, a grand staircase, but it's decorated for Christmas in a way that feels homey. Garland wrapped around the banister, a massive tree in the corner, the smell of pine and cinnamon. "You must be Jude." The tall man is suddenly right in front of her, arms spread wide. "I'm Declan, Landon's father." Before Jude can respond, he's pulling her into a bear hug, enveloping both her and Bonnie. Bonnie gurgles in surprise. "And who's this little pup?" he coos. "Look at those cheeks." "This is Bonnie," Jude manages, slightly dazed. "Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous," Declan beams. "Welcome to our home. Any friend of Landon's is family here." "Declan." The voice is quiet but carries authority. Jude looks past Declan to see a woman standing near the staircase. She's elegant, tall, poised, light blonde hair pulled back in a tasteful style. This must be Landon's mother. The woman steps forward, and Jude notices how she moves. There's something unnaturally graceful about it, like she's gliding. "I'm Allegra," she says, offering a polite smile. "It's nice to meet you." Her eyes take in Jude and Bonnie with an assessing quality that makes Jude wonder if it really is nice to meet them. "Thank you so much for having us," Jude says quickly. "I know this is probably really weird, but as soon as the airline calls, we'll be out of your hair." She looks at Landon and smiles. "And thank you. Really. I don't know what I would have done if..." But Landon's not looking at her. He's staring up the grand staircase, his expression hopeful and uncertain. "River?" he calls out. Allegra's expression shifts slightly. She's in her room, though she is aware we have guests. The emphasis on guests is subtle but there, like maybe River isn't thrilled about it. Landon's face falls just a fraction before he schools his expression back to neutral. "Come on," he says, turning back to Jude. "Let me show you to your room." "Oh, but the luggage. Someone will bring it up shortly." Jude smiles awkwardly at Declan and Allegra. "It was nice meeting you both." Then she follows Landon up the sweeping staircase. The hallway upstairs is wide, artwork on the walls, thick carpet. Everything is beautiful and completely foreign to Jude's experience. Landon stops at a door and pushes it open. "This is you," he says, stepping aside. Jude walks in and gasps. Not because of the room itself, though it's gorgeous, all cream and soft blues with a massive 4-poster bed, but because of what's waiting inside. A brand new car seat, a portable crib already assembled, a mountain of stuffed animals and toys, shopping bags overflowing with baby clothes, diapers, blankets, bottles, formula. Everything still has tags on it. Jude turns slowly to stare at Landon. What is all this? He shrugs. Just some necessities. Necessities? Jude's voice goes up an octave. I made a few calls from the car, Landon says, and some things are leftovers from Jared and Mira's baby showers. Jared and Freya? Jude asks, dazed. Landon smiles patiently. My niece and nephew, twins, real menaces. You'll meet them tomorrow. Jude doesn't know what to say. Her throat feels tight. I can't accept all this. You can. His voice is firm. And you will. Bonnie needs these things. But Jude's voice cracks. I can't pay you back. I'm not asking you to. They stare at each other. Jude's holding Bonnie like a shield, feeling overwhelmed. Are you sure? She asks quietly. About us being here, your mother seemed... My mother's just protective, Landon says, taking a step closer. She'll warm up. He's near enough now that Jude catches that scent again. Woodsy, masculine. Bonnie starts fussing. I should feed her, Jude says quietly. But really, thank you. I texted my grandmother. I promise we won't overstay. Landon takes another step closer. He's so tall. His shoulders are broad enough to block out half the room. You're not overstaying. You're welcome here as long as you need to be. He reaches out slowly and adjusts the blanket slipping off Bonnie's shoulder. His fingers brush Jude's collarbone for just a second. His hand is warm, so warm it's almost startling. And if the flights don't clear up by Christmas Eve, he continues, his dark eyes holding hers, you're welcome to spend the holiday with us, with my family. Jude's brain momentarily short-circuits. Is he asking her to spend Christmas with him? Words. She needs words. That's very generous, but I don't want to intrude. You wouldn't be intruding. He's still looking at her with those intense eyes. I mean it. You and Bonnie are welcome here. Her face feels hot. She knows she's blushing. This is ridiculous. She met this man 6 hours ago. But God, the way he's looking at her. And the way it feels to have someone take care of her for once. It's intoxicating. She could get used to this, to him. That's the scary part. Thank you, Jude manages. That's really kind. Their eyes hold for another moment, and the air between them feels charged with something. Chapter 4. Jude wakes to soft winter light filtering through cream-colored curtains and, for one disoriented moment, has absolutely no idea where she is. Then it comes back. The plane, the airport, Landon. She sits up slowly, taking in the enormous bedroom. Most shocking of all, she feels rested. Actually genuinely rested for the first time in, God, she can't even remember how long. Until panic hits. Where's Bonnie? Jude scrambles out of bed and rushes to the crib. But her daughter is just lying there, awake and content, staring at the mobile of stars above her. You slept through the night, Jude whispers, picking her up. You've never done that before. Not once. Bonnie gurgles happily, grabbing a fistful of Jude's sleep-rumpled hair. After changing Bonnie and feeding her, Jude looks down at herself. She's still wearing yesterday's wrinkled clothes. Not exactly the impression she wants to make on her second morning in a billionaire's house. Placing Bonnie in a baby bouncer, she quickly showers while keeping an eye on her daughter. Then she digs through her suitcase. The pickings are slim. But there's one sweater. Soft gray cashmere that her grandmother gave her 3 Christmases ago. She pulls it on over clean jeans, then stares at herself in the bathroom mirror. Makeup. Does she have makeup? What are you doing? She mutters. You're putting on makeup to go downstairs for breakfast. This is insane. But she knows exactly what she's doing, and exactly who she's doing it for. She picks up Bonnie and heads for the door. The house looks even more incredible in daylight. She follows the sound of voices and the smell of coffee to the kitchen. Allegra is at the stove. Jude clears her throat. Good morning. Jude? Allegra acknowledges with a nod. How are you settling in? Great, Jude says, settling Bonnie's carrier on the island. Actually better than great. This one here slept through the whole night for the first time ever. Allegra has already turned back to the stove. Can I help with anything? Jude offers. No, thank you. Jude shifts her weight when a glass on the dish rack starts to slide off. Allegra's hand shoots out, impossibly fast, and catches it without even glancing at it. Wow. Jude blinks. Nice reflexes. Allegra looks up like she's just remembered Jude is there. There's a pause and then, so will your husband be joining us for Christmas, Jude? Jude grimaces. I'm not married. Allegra glances at Bonnie, then back to Jude. No? Her eyebrow raises. The father's not in the picture. Oh. Allegra's lips purse. Good morning, my darlings. Declan bursts into the kitchen, humming something that might be Jingle Bells. Before Allegra can react, he's swept her into his arms and twirled her across the kitchen floor. Declan? Allegra protests, but there's no real heat in it. He dips her dramatically, plants a loud kiss on her lips, and Allegra actually laughs. Jude can't help but grin. When Declan releases his wife, he immediately zeroes in on Bonnie. And there's my favorite little pup. Come to Grandpa, Declan? He scoops Bonnie out of her carrier and starts murmuring nonsense to her. You're going to spoil her, Jude says, smiling. And then Landon walks into the kitchen, and her brain completely short-circuits. He's just showered, his dark hair still damp, fitted black t-shirt, dark jeans. Jude's mouth goes dry. Morning, he says, his voice still slightly rough from sleep. He pours coffee and slides it across the island to her, exactly how she likes it. She grabs the mug and takes a large sip. Do not think about beds in Landon. Do not think about beds in Landon. Did you sleep well, Jude? Landon asks. The question is innocent, totally normal. But Jude's traitorous brain immediately supplies images of sleeping next to him, of waking up in those arms, of... Her face goes nuclear. Great, she squeaks. Fantastic. The room was wonderful. Thank you. Landon's smile widens slightly, like he knows exactly what he's doing to her. Hello, anyone awake? And then suddenly the kitchen is chaos. A man who looks like a slightly younger version of Landon strides in, followed by a pretty red-haired woman and 2 7-year-old tornadoes. Beckett, Declan booms. You made it! Barely. Roads are a mess. Hey, Mom. He kisses Allegra's cheek, and she actually smiles. You must be the guest, Beckett says. I'm Landon's brother, and this is my wife, Lauren. And these 2 monsters are Jared and Freya, Beckett adds. The twins immediately spot Bonnie. Is that a baby? Can we hold her? Does she do tricks? Jude laughs. She's not a puppy. Yet, Declan says solemnly. Lauren rolls her eyes. Don't listen to him. He thinks everyone should have the same energy as... She cuts herself off, glancing at Jude, then at Landon. An awkward beat of silence. Then Allegra redirects. Breakfast is ready, everyone sit. Jude is getting settled at the dining table when everyone goes quiet. A teenage girl stands in the doorway, tall, dark hair, Landon's jawline, green eyes. River! Lauren jumps up. Beckett and the twins follow. River stands stiff, not hugging back. Jude glances at Landon. His jaw is tight, his arms crossed. He's staring at his daughter with painful intensity. River doesn't look at him, not once. She slides into a seat at the far end of the table, as far from her father as possible. Bonnie makes a gurgling sound, and River's gaze snaps to the baby. For just a second, her expression lightens. Landon clears his throat. River, I thought maybe after breakfast we could... I have plans, River interrupts. Landon's jaw tightens. What plans? Does it matter? She finally looks at him, something challenging in her gaze. Honey, I'm not working today. Oh, so I should just drop everything 'cause you're free? River snaps. No, I just mean, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. I thought we could spend some time. I'm good. River stands abruptly. I'm not hungry. She walks out. The silence is excruciating. Landon sits frozen, his hands clenched into fists. Jude's heart aches for them both. When breakfast ends, Jude takes Bonnie outside. The estate grounds are stunning. Footsteps crunch behind her. Landon, hands in his pockets. Hey, he says, want a tour of the property? Sure. They walk in comfortable silence toward the stables. Inside, it's warm and smells like hay. Several horses poke their heads over stall doors. It's definitely not my business, Jude says carefully. But is River okay with us being here? Landon runs his hand down a horse's neck. You're not causing problems. River and I, it's nothing to do with you. Her mom left 3 years ago, Landon says quietly. I don't know. I guess we haven't recovered. I'm sorry, Jude says. Breakups are hard. I meant the relationship with River. Landon looks away. It was awful when it happened, but what really hurt was watching the women I once loved abandon our daughter like that and having her suffer for it. Jude shifts Bonnie. Ryan left when Bonnie was 2 months old. Just packed his stuff one morning. He never wanted to be a father. Landon looks up at her, and something passes between them. Understanding. Two people who have been abandoned. I'm sorry, Landon says, and he means it. Me too, Jude replies. They stand there in the warm stable, Bonnie dozing against Jude's chest. Chapter 5. When Bonnie finally goes down for her afternoon nap, and Jude finds herself heading for the kitchen, determined to help with whatever Christmas preparations are happening. The space has been transformed into a professional catering operation. At least 6 people moving around with practiced efficiency, and at the heart of it all is Allegra. Is there anything I can do to help? Jude asks. I'd like to pitch in. Allegra barely glances at her. We have it covered, thank you. Are you sure? I could... Jude attempts... We're fine. Over Allegra's shoulder, Jude spots Lauren kneading dough. Message received. She retreats to the family room. Good run last night, Declan is saying. If you ask me, the snow makes it more... He pauses. Landon and Beckett turn to look at her, looking vaguely guilty. A run? In the middle of a blizzard? Jude asks jokingly. The 3 men look like kids caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Sometimes it almost feels like they're all sharing this big secret hidden in plain sight. Jude settles onto the love seat, pulling out her phone. Someone clears their throat. River is standing right beside the love seat. Jude startles. She hadn't heard the girl approach. Your baby's crying, River announces. Jude's on her feet immediately. Oh God, I didn't hear. She's halfway to the stairs when she realizes River is following her. They climb in silence. Jude can hear it now, Bonnie's cry. She rushes into the guest room and finds Bonnie wailing in her crib. Hey, it's okay, Jude soothes, scooping her up. Mama's here. Bonnie's cries downgrade to whimpers. River hovers in the doorway. Thank you, Jude says, for letting me know. It's a big house, River says quietly. Sound doesn't carry. Bonnie makes a soft gurgling sound. Jude laughs. Guess she wants to know how you are. A small smile tugs at River's lips. Would you like to hold her? Jude asks gently. River's eyes go wide. I want to. Have you ever held a baby before? River shakes her head. Okay, it's easy. Here, support her head like this. She carefully transfers Bonnie into River's arms. River's entire face transforms. The guarded expression melts away, replaced by something soft and vulnerable. Lunch is ready, Allegra announces from the doorway. Her gaze lands on River holding Bonnie, and her eyebrows climb. In the mirror above the dresser, Jude catches a glimpse of Allegra's reflection. For just a second, her eyes seem to glow gold. Evening settles, and the family gathers to decorate the Christmas tree. It's massive, at least 12 feet tall. The twins run circles around it. Declan wrestles with tangled lights. River is still holding Bonnie. Hey, Jude, you know what's bigger than a Christmas tree? Declan asks. What? A Christmas for. Jude bursts out laughing. Declan blinks, shocked. Landon appears, eyes wide. December 23rd, 2024, Beckett murmurs. It finally happened. The old man made someone laugh, Landon whistles. I'll show you, old man. Declan shakes the lights. Jude laughs harder, and Bonnie starts giggling too. Within seconds, everyone is laughing. Even River, even Allegra. Landon moves closer. Thank you. Jude looks up at him, and for a second she forgets how to breathe. For what? She manages. He just shrugs. Come on, let's finish these decorations. They work side by side. Landon is close enough that their arms keep brushing. Is your family as chaotic as mine? Landon asks. My parents died when I was a freshman in college. Car accident. I don't have any brothers or sisters. Landon's hand stills. I'm sorry. Your family isn't chaotic, Jude says. This is nice. They both reach into the box at the same time. Their hands collide. Neither pulls away. She looks up and finds him staring at her with an intensity that makes her skin feel hot. There's just Landon, his hand covering hers, his breath slightly uneven. Landon? Allegra's voice cuts through the moment. We need to talk, now. Landon jerks away. Right, sorry, He practically runs from the room. From the hallway, Jude hears Allegra's voice raised. The tone is clear, disapproval, warning. Why does it feel like she and Landon are doing something dangerous? Later that night, Bonnie wakes up fussy. Jude makes her way down to the dark kitchen. She's warming a bottle, swaying gently with Bonnie, when something outside catches her eye. There's a wolf outside, a huge white wolf sitting in the snow, watching her. Its fur is pristine white, almost glowing, and its eyes, gold. Bright, intelligent gold. Jude frowns, takes a step closer. She walks to the glass door. She presses her palm against it. The wolf's ears twitch, but it doesn't move. What are you doing? Jude spins around. Allegra is standing on the other side of the island, arms crossed. There's a wolf outside, Jude says breathlessly. Right there, a huge white wolf. Allegra makes a sound that might be a snort. A wolf? In this neighborhood? We're miles from the nearest forest. You must have imagined it. I didn't imagine... But when Jude turns back, the wolf is gone. I saw it, Jude insists. Allegra pulls the bottle from the microwave. You've been under a lot of stress. The mind plays tricks. She hands Jude the bottle. Get some rest. Jude retreats upstairs. But as she's feeding Bonnie, she can't stop thinking about those golden eyes. The same golden color she's seen flash in Landon's eyes, and in Allegra's. I'm losing it, she whispers. But deep down, she knows she's not imagining anything. Something is happening in this house. Something impossible. Chapter 6. The following morning, Jude finds herself in the library, drawn by the promise of quiet and the floor-to-ceiling windows that let in pale winter sunlight. Bonnie is drowsing in her arms after her feed, and Jude still can't quite believe she's here, in a mansion around which wolves roam. Because she didn't imagine it. She knows she didn't. The golden eyes, the way it just sat there watching her like it knew her. But then what was up with Allegra's casual dismissal? The baby burps, and Jude smiles. There you go, sweet girl. Her gaze lands on the photographs covering one wall, and she drifts toward them, still humming quietly to Bonnie. The photos are arranged chronologically, a visual history of the Harlow family. Young Declan and Allegra on their wedding day, both glowing and impossibly beautiful. Beckett and Lauren looking young and happy and so clearly in love, it makes Jude's chest ache. And then Landon's wedding. Jude stops and stares. Landon looks younger, his expression open in a way she hasn't seen since meeting him. His bride is beautiful, tall, blonde, tan, fit in that effortless way some women just are. Her wedding dress is elegant and expensive, showing off a figure that probably never struggled with post-pregnancy weight or stretch marks. Jude touches her messy bun self-consciously. Yeah, she and Kendra are definitely not in the same league, she decides, just as the library door opens behind her. Jude turns to see Landon freeze in the doorway, clearly not expecting to find her here. Sorry, he says immediately. I didn't know you were in here. He starts to retreat. No, please, Jude calls out. I mean, I'm the intruder here, this is your home. Stay, I'll go. Landon blinks, as if surprised, and then a small smile spreads across his lips. You're not intruding, he assures her, gesturing toward the large desk against the far wall. I just needed to check something on my laptop. But instead of going to the desk, he closes the door and walks toward her. Jude's heart rate picks up immediately. He's wearing dark jeans and a soft gray Henley that clings to his chest in ways that should be illegal. Stop it, she tells herself firmly. You're holding your baby. What's up? Landon asks, and there's something warm in his voice that makes her stomach flutter. But then his gaze falls on the wedding photo behind her, and he winces. Bad memories, huh? Jude asks. He doesn't reply, just stares, mouth pinched. Quick, Jude thinks. Think of something sensitive to say. Know something cool, funny. Think of something funny to... Bonnie chooses that moment to release another very loud burp. Landon's smile returns immediately. He reaches out and caresses Bonnie's head with surprising gentleness, his large hand covering almost her entire skull. We had to retake that photo 100 times, he says, looking at Bonnie, before Kendra was satisfied with how she looked. Jude glances back at the perfect picture. Well, it's a very nice photo, she says politely. Landon shakes his head. She left me for another man, he says. She left River for this other man. Doesn't matter what it looks like. The casual way he says it, like it didn't devastate him, makes Jude's chest ache. It's her loss, she says firmly. Landon goes very still. He's standing close enough now that Jude can see the individual lashes framing his dark eyes. You really mean that? He asks. His voice is quieter now, rougher. Jude's mouth goes dry. She walked right into that one, didn't she? Her stomach starts churning, nerves and awareness and, oh God, something that feels dangerously close to having a crush. A big crush at that, the magnitude of which she has not experienced since her one-sided infatuation with Darian Troy in middle school. I mean, you're pretty great, she stammers. Huh. She pauses. Did that sound weird? It sounded weird. You're fine, Jude tries again. She can't breathe, can't think, can only stand there while her heart hammers against her ribs. Landon's hand comes up slowly, giving her time to pull away. She doesn't. His fingers brush her cheek, impossibly gentle. Jude, he says, and the way her name sounds in his voice, it makes her breath hitches audibly. Landon's eyes drop to her lips. His head dips lower, and he's going to kiss her, right here in the library with her baby in her arms, and Bonnie releases a loud, piercing wail. They spring apart like they've been electrocuted. Jude's face floods with heat. Sorry, she's been fussy all morning. She pats Bonnie's back, trying to look anywhere but at Landon, trying to calm her racing pulse. But when she risks a glance at him, he's still staring at her. His chest is rising and falling faster than normal, his jaw is tight, and his eyes are doing that thing again, that flash of gold she keeps seeing and dismissing. Their gazes remain locked even as Landon slowly backs away toward his desk, like he doesn't trust himself to stay close. Guess I should. He hooks a thumb over his shoulder toward the sleek laptop. Work. I should work. Jude nods, not trusting her voice. She probably needs a diaper change. She manages finally, even though that's not why Bonnie is crying and they both know it. She's already halfway to the door when Landon's voice stops her. Jude. She turns back. He's standing behind the desk now, gripping the edge like it's the only thing keeping him anchored. Thank you for what you said about River. I'll give it some thought. Jude nods again, then flees before she can do something stupid like go back to him. She doesn't start breathing normally until she's back in her room with the door closed. Okay, she whispers to Bonnie, who's already calming down now that the tension has broken. We have a problem. A really big problem. Because she almost kissed him. No, he almost kissed her. And she wanted him to. God, she wanted him to so badly it scared her. Chapter 7. Jude places the final pot on the dish rack and dries her hands, turning toward the chef kneading dough on the island. What next? From the breakfast nook, Bonnie lets out a happy gurgle. Jude glances over, smiling at River playing with the baby. Baby toys lie scattered around them, but the two are currently occupied with wooden blocks that River stacks while Bonnie tries to knock them down. Go be with your baby, the chef says. We've got this. Jude turns with a smile. River's on baby duty, and judging by everyone's reaction to her presence downstairs, I wouldn't dare take Bonnie away. The chef nods. It's been a long time since I've seen her around like this. Allegra mentioned she didn't even come down for Christmas dinner last year. Wait, you cooked for Christmas last year too? The chef chuckles. Christmas, 4th of July, Halloween, birthdays, corporate events, for the last decade. So you're family friends then? The chef gives her a wry smile. Sure, something like that. What about you? With a small sigh, Jude shares the story. The plane, the emergency landing, Landon's invitation. So that's why you insisted on helping, the chef says. Jude nods. It's the least I can do. As they work, the chef shares stories about the Harlow family, Declan's terrible jokes, Allegra's perfectionism. Then she mentions something that makes Jude's ears perk up. Sophia, Declan's mother, used to bake these chocolate chip cookies every Christmas that Landon absolutely adored. Him and Beckett would fight over the crumbs. Another chef laughs. Sophia's nutmeg cookies, those were legendary. Do you know the recipe? Jude asks. The chef smiles. I do, actually. Why? Later, after the catering staff has left, Jude puts Bonnie down for her nap. River hovers in the doorway. Could you watch her? Jude asks. Just for a little while, I want to try something in the kitchen. River's eyes light up. Really? Really, I trust you. Those words seem to mean something to River. She nods and moves to sit beside the crib. Jude heads back down to the kitchen, the recipe clutched in her hand. The kitchen is blessedly empty. Jude gets to work. Chocolate chip cookies with nutmeg and cinnamon. Sophia's secret was brown butter and homemade vanilla extract. The rhythm of baking is soothing. She used to do this with her mother. She's sliding the first batch into the oven when she hears footsteps. What's all this? Jude turns to find Landon in the doorway, sniffing the air. Your grandmother's cookies, Jude says, suddenly shy. Landon's eyes go wide. What? How? The chef gave me the recipe. I wanted to do something nice for you since you... Don't say I saved you again. Landon groans, but he's smiling. So it's all right? All right. Landon crosses the kitchen and stands in front of the oven like a kid on Christmas morning. It's amazing. He peers through the window. How much longer? Jude chuckles. If you tap that button, you'll find out. She loves seeing him like this, unguarded, happy. Landon throws her a grin. Smartass. Heat floods Jude's face. I didn't know you could bake, he says. Jude shrugs. Guess it never came up. Can I help with the next batch? Give me something to do or I'll start climbing the walls. Jude laughs. I've got the next batch, but you can do the dishes. Deal. They work in companionable silence, the kind that feels full instead of empty. Jude shapes cookies. Landon washes mixing bowls, sleeves pushed up to his elbows. Jude steals glances at him, the strong line of his jaw, the concentration on his face. Their eyes meet, once, twice, 3 times. Each time they smile, small, secret smiles that make Jude's stomach flip. The timer dings. Landon lunges for the oven, but Jude beats him there, laughing. Patience, she says, pulling out the tray of perfectly golden brown cookies. Landon inhales deeply, his eyes closing. Oh my God, that's exactly how I remember them. You have to wait for them to cool. Worth it, Landon mutters. He finishes the dishes and joins her at the island. He's standing close. Close enough that Jude can smell that woodsy scent. She straightens and brushes her hair away, leaving what she's sure is a streak of flour. Landon's eyes track the movement. You have some flour, he says softly. He reaches out slowly. She doesn't pull away. He uses the back of his fingers to gently wipe her cheekbone. Jude freezes. Her eyes go wide, her breathing picks up. Landon's still touching her. His fingers linger, then he flips his hand, cupping her face. His head drops lower. They stare at each other. The kitchen fades away. Landon, Jude whispers. Landon shudders. His eyes flash, that gold again, unmistakable. His head drops even lower. Jude can feel his breath on her lips. She arches her back slightly. Her eyes start to close. Stop! Just stop this! The voice is sharp, angry, loud enough to shatter the moment. Jude's blood freezes. River. Landon stops touching her immediately, his hand dropping away. He moves back, and Jude is suddenly, devastatingly cold. She turns to see River standing in the doorway, Bonnie in her arms, the teenage girl's face twisted with emotion. Anger, fear, something else underneath. River, Landon starts. But River is already shaking her head, backing away, holding Bonnie like a shield. And Jude knows, with sinking certainty, that whatever was about to happen between her and Landon just got a whole lot more complicated. Chapter 8. Jude opens her mouth, but no words come out. She just stands there, frozen, watching River glare at her with an intensity that feels almost feral. Jude tries to understand. It can't be easy for River to see her father with another woman. The poor girl is still hurting from her mother leaving. Of course she'd be upset. The grandfather clock in the hallway chimes. 5 times. Each chime feels like a countdown to something Jude doesn't understand. She licks her lips, tries again. River, I know this must be... But River's eyes flash, literally flash, gold, bright, inhuman. What do you think you're doing? She asks, voice sharp. Jude flinches. Your dad invited us, she attempts weakly. We were stranded. What are you doing here? River interrupts, her voice rising. With all of us? You don't belong, you're human. The way she says that word makes it sound like an insult. River, that's enough, Landon starts, but River ignores him completely. You're not part of the pack. River continues, still glaring at Jude, then finally turning to Landon. She's not one of us, Dad. What are you talking about? Jude asks. What pack? River's glare transforms into something darker. Here, she says, her voice shaking. She carefully hands Bonnie back to Jude. Take her. Jude does, confused as River takes several steps back, putting distance between them. And then she changes. Her body convulses. There's a sickening sound of bones shifting, breaking, reforming. Her spine arches impossibly. Her face elongates into a muzzle. Fur erupts from her skin. And then a small brownish wolf with bright green eyes is standing where River was. Jude gasps, stumbling backward, her arm outstretched instinctively to ward off the animal. Shift back, Landon growls. His voice is nothing like Jude has ever heard from him before. It's commanding, powerful, terrifying in its authority. It sends shivers down her spine for all the wrong reasons. The wolf's body convulses again, the same brutal process in reverse, bones cracking, reshaping. And then River is standing there again, human, like nothing impossible just happened. Well, except that she is naked, but Landon is quick to throw her a jacket. Jude's chest is heaving. She can't stop looking from one to the other, can't stop shaking her head. You went too far, River, Landon says, but his daughter ignores him. We're shifters, she says to Jude. The entire family, all the people you've met in the past few days, the chef, the driver, everyone. She tilts her head mockingly. Dad is Alpha. He succeeded Grandpa. He's the leader of the entire pack. Jude's pulse is thundering in her ears. Her mouth is so dry she can barely speak. I don't understand, River snorts. Of course you don't, she snaps. Shifters mean we can shift into animals, or in our case, into wolves. River, that's enough, Landon says, but his voice sounds distant. Jude isn't listening anymore. Her mind is reeling, piecing things together. The fluid grace, the predatory way they moved, the comments she overheard, pack meeting, Alpha, and the wolf outside. She swivels toward Landon. It was you outside that night? She asks. The white wolf? Landon nods, his lips pressed tightly together. Jude's head shakes again. She can barely make sense of what's happening, but she saw it. She saw River change, right in front of her. Are we safe? She asks, the words tumbling out before she can stop them. Is my daughter... She knows it's the wrong thing to say the instant the words leave her mouth. River gasps like Jude just slapped her. Landon's expression drops. Disappointment floods his features. See, Dad? River exclaims. She'll never understand. River, he attempts. No, Dad, River interrupts. It's time you acted like an alpha and did something about the outsider among us. I don't understand how you could bring her here in the first place. Do the opposite of what you did last time when Mom left and you just let her go, she concludes. Landon flinches. River's face contorts. Tears begin to spill from her eyes. She wipes them away angrily and bolts up the stairs, her footsteps echoing. River, wait, Landon starts after her. I'm sorry, Jude says desperately. Landon, I didn't mean to... Landon whirls on her. Jude takes an involuntary step back, clutching Bonnie tighter. His eyes flash gold, his jaw is tight. And when he looks at her now, it's like he's looking at a stranger. River's just trying to protect herself, he explains. And the pack. Jude takes a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. I understand that, she says quietly. Landon's expression softens just a fraction. I'm not sure you do, he says carefully. Of course I do. Jude's words come out in a rush. She's shocked, just like I am, and... She pauses, takes a breath. Look, I apologize for the question earlier. I didn't mean to imply you couldn't control yourself or that you'd hurt us. She gestures helplessly. Jude, I understand where you're coming from, Landon interrupts, sounding defeated. But I can't risk hurting River again. Of course not, Jude says. I don't want that either. Well, perhaps you shouldn't have asked her if she was a threat to you and your baby then. Landon sighs, shoulder tense. You were looking out for your kid, but I need to look out for mine. He shakes his head. Bringing someone new into our lives so suddenly was thoughtless, he says. Especially when that someone is... He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't have to. Human, Jude finishes for him in her mind. You can't expect me to take this all in stride, Jude protests. I need time to process. Landon stays quiet for a moment, and Jude desperately searches his expression for hints as to what he is thinking. From what she gathers, it doesn't look good. I think you should leave, Landon says, his voice flat, empty. I'll arrange for someone to pick you up tomorrow morning. First thing. The air leaves Jude's lungs in a forceful exhale. It feels like someone punched her in the chest, crushing something vital inside. She presses her hand to her sternum where a sharp, aching pain has bloomed. Landon, she attempts. Like I told you before, it's too complicated. Landon steps back, putting more distance between them. I'm sorry, I have to think about River. He turns and walks toward the door. Landon, Jude's voice breaks on his name, but he doesn't turn around, doesn't look back. Just opens the door and walks through it, slamming it so hard behind him that the whole frame rattles. Jude stands there, alone in the kitchen, surrounded by the smell of cookies and the ruins of something that might have been beautiful. She's shaking, she realizes, her whole body trembling like a leaf. A sob forms in her throat. She tries to gulp it back down, but it escapes anyway, small and broken. She won't cry, she won't. But the tears come anyway. Chapter 9. Jude can't sleep. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees Landon's face, the disappointment in his expression. After what feels like hours of tossing and turning, she gives up and abandons the bed. Her daughter is still sleeping peacefully in the crib, blissfully unaware that their entire world just imploded. Jude watches her for a moment, chest tight. She tiptoes into the hallway, closing the door softly behind her. The house is dark and quiet. Everyone must be asleep. In the kitchen, she quickly washes a baby bottle, sets it on the drying rack, and freezes. There's a rustle outside. Jude's heart jumps. She grips the edge of the counter. It's probably a wolf, one of them. Landon? Jude hesitates, then peers around the tall cabinet at the end of the counter. Through the glass doors, she can see a figure wrapped in a blanket, sitting on the porch swing, watching the falling snow. River. The girl turns around as if sensing Jude's presence. Their eyes meet through the glass. Then River's head whips around, sharply, and Jude hesitates. After everything that happened, will River want to talk to her? But then again, she's leaving tomorrow, isn't she? She might as well try to help Landon before she does. Jude takes a step outside into the cold night air. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I was just hungry. She lifts the plate. Skip dinner. Me too, River says quietly. Want to share? River shrugs. It's not a no. Jude closes the door behind her, shutting out the warm kitchen. She takes a seat at the other end of the swing and places the plate between them. Dig in, she offers. There's brie. River starts crying. Not quiet tears, full body-shaking sobs. You don't have to eat the brie. Jude hurries out. I also brought nuts and... I'm sorry, Jude. River chokes out. I'm sorry for earlier. This time, Jude doesn't hesitate. She slides closer to River and throws an arm around the girl's shoulders. You don't have to apologize. You were looking out for your family. Still, River keeps bawling, I shifted right in front of you and scared you. Jude sighs. Well, you were rather abrupt. She concedes. But I understand. River looks at her, wiping her cheeks with the blanket. You do? Jude nods. Ever since my parents died in the car accident, she says slowly, the words forming as the thoughts crystallize. I've been pushing people away. River freezes. Your parents are dead? She asks, voice small. Jude nods, continuing. I was 19 when it happened. An adult, yet still a child in many ways. She smiles slightly when River starts to roll her eyes. Don't roll your eyes at me. You'll see what I mean someday. I was a child in ways that prevented me from grieving properly, healthily. So I pushed friends away because I was secretly terrified they'd disappear from my life too. River watches her intently. Even Bonnie's father, Jude's voice catches. I kept him at a distance, never shared my feelings with him like we're doing right now, always kept an exit strategy. Always on the lookout for the first signs he was pulling away, so I could drop him first. She laughs bitterly. Ironically, he still took me by surprise when he announced he couldn't do this and left. but that's not my point. What is your point? River asks quietly. My point is that all I accomplished was making sure I was truly alone. An island. Someone who didn't have anyone to ask for help when she needed it most. Jude looks at River directly. Your mom left, and I know that must have hurt. But it's not about you or your dad, it's about her choices, her decisions. River restarts crying, but the tears are rolling silently now. Mom left when she found her fated mate, and I begged her not to go. When that didn't work, I yelled at her like I yelled at you tonight, and she still left. She was Dad's mate, but chosen, not fated. And the pull isn't as strong with chosen mates, at least that's what the lore says. They sit together on the porch swing, watching the snow fall, letting the cold night air sting their faces. Your dad isn't going to leave you, River, Jude says, meaning it. He would never. River hesitates. You don't know that, she says. You don't know what fated bonds do to us shifters. My dad isn't very big on trust or meeting new people, and yet he knows you for all of 5 minutes and he brings you to our pack? Jude frowns, trying to understand what River is getting at. What are you saying exactly? Are you... She pauses. Do you think I'm your father's fated mate? River shrugs, looking deeply uncomfortable, her gaze fixed on the falling snow. Look, River, Jude says carefully. I'm not exactly sure what a fated mate is. But what I can tell you is that your father's already made his choice. And that choice is you. River looks up at her. What do you mean? She asks. Landon said someone's picking me up in the morning, Jude says, trying to keep her voice steady. River sits up straighter. He can't mean it, she assures. He has feelings for you, I can tell. Jude tries to put on a brave face, but knows she probably fails. Look, it's complicated. I like him too, but... You do? River's eyes light up. Even though we're not human? Jude chuckles at that. Honey, your dad opened his home when I was desperate and alone, on the brink of a complete meltdown. He bought a ton of stuff for Bonnie, never asked for anything in return. She squeezes River's shoulder. So if he, or anyone else in your family needs to be a wolf sometimes, I promise it's fine by me. River gapes, and then she throws herself in Jude's arms, giggling through her tears. Jude joins her, and for a moment, sitting on a porch swing in the middle of a snowy Christmas Eve with a teenage werewolf, everything feels almost okay. Almost. Chapter 10. Jude wakes to sunlight streaming through the curtains. For a moment, she just lies there, staring at the ceiling, her heart heavy. Today she leaves. Today she goes back to her real life, the one where werewolves don't exist and billionaire CEOs don't almost kiss her in their kitchens. She abandons the bed and goes to Bonnie, who grins up at her with that pure, uncomplicated baby joy. Merry Christmas, sweet girl, Jude whispers. She rummages through their luggage and finds the outfit she packed for Christmas, picks up Bonnie and ventures outside their room. Voices and laughter drift from the living room, but Jude heads to the kitchen first to warm a bottle for Bonnie. And finds Allegra at the counter, drinking coffee. Jude stops in the doorway, swallows. Good morning, Jude, Allegra says. Bonnie needs a bottle, Jude explains. Allegra frowns. I hope I haven't made you feel so unwelcome that you feel the need to explain yourself for entering a kitchen. Jude bites her lip. When the silence lengthens, Allegra lets out a sound that might be a laugh. I don't blame you. I especially apologize for when you saw Landon outside that night. She grimaces. I gaslighted you. I'm sorry. Jude releases a breath. I get it. You do? Yeah. Jude moves to the fridge. I'm a mother too. I understand wanting to protect your family. Allegra gives her a thoughtful look. Guess it doesn't matter now. Jude shrugs. Landon asked me to leave. Allegra approaches and pats her shoulder. Landon's just protecting himself. Don't let him be a coward. Surprised, Jude glances at the older woman. Come on, Allegra says, taking Bonnie. I'll feed her. He's in the library. Go talk to him. A bit dazed, Jude nods. She makes her way down the hall, her heart hammering. With a deep breath, she lifts her arm to knock. But River's voice reaches her from inside, so Jude's hand drops. I'm really sorry, Dad. This is the 5th time you're apologizing, River. Landon's voice is gentle, patient. Jude's chest aches with something bittersweet. Does that mean Jude and Bonnie can stay? River asks. River, she's your fated mate, isn't she? A loud intake of breath. Don't look at me like that, River says. It's obvious. A beat of silence. Does everyone know? Landon asks. Jude holds her gasp. Does that mean... Is she Landon's fated mate? Oh my God. Dad, River says, pleading. Ask her to stay. You want to. Jude's breath catches. She should leave. She shouldn't be listening. Landon's voice is strained. River, I can't. It's complicated. Jude's shoulders drop. She turns to go. But it doesn't have to be, River says louder. She told me she likes you. Really? Landon's voice fills with hope. Yeah, and I like her too. And Bonnie, do you? Like them? A pause, then so quietly. Of course I do, but I... Good, River interrupts, amused. Jude, you can come in? Jude jolts. Beyond the door, she hears River giggle. We're wolves, remember? Your heartbeat gave you away 3 minutes ago. The door opens and River strides out, pulling Jude into a quick hug. Dad didn't know you were there, River whispers. He was too preoccupied, 'cause he likes you. Good luck. She heads toward the living room, leaving Jude standing in the hallway. Jude takes a deep breath and peeks around the door. A hand sneaks out and gently pulls Jude inside. Her back hits the door, and suddenly Landon is there, caging her in with his arms on either side of her head. Hey, he says, sheepish. Hey, Jude manages. His gaze travels down, taking in her red dress. His eyes darken to almost black, and a low rumble erupts from his chest. Was that the wolf? She asks. Landon rubs the spot over his heart, looking embarrassed. I'm sorry, that must be weird. No, Jude hesitates. It's kind of hot, actually. Landon smiles softly. I'm also sorry for what I said. He runs a hand through his hair. For saying you need to leave, I wanted to rip out my tongue as soon as... of course you can still leave, anytime you want. You're not forced to remain if you don't want to. River was hurting, and you were scared for Bonnie, and I just... Landon? His mouth snaps shut, then, in a small voice. Yeah? I think I'll stay for Christmas. Jude smiles. He smiles back, slightly hesitant. And then? Jude shrugs. We'll see? Okay. He nods rapidly. We'll take it slow. That is if... Wait, I messed up again. I didn't mean to presume you're staying because of, us. You definitely don't have to do anything you don't want to. I'd rather die than pressure you into... Hey, Jude interrupts, reaching up to cup his face. Big Alpha, shut up and kiss me already. Another rumble erupts from Landon's chest, deeper, more resonant. It vibrates through Jude's entire body. He leans in slowly, giving her time to change her mind. She doesn't. When his lips finally meet hers, it's gentle at first, tentative. But Jude rises on her toes, pressing closer, and Landon makes a sound low in his throat and deepens the kiss. His hand cups the back of her head, fingers threading through her hair. His other hand finds her waist, pulling her flush against him. When they finally break apart, both breathing hard, Landon rests his forehead against hers. Merry Christmas, Jude. She smiles and is about to reply when from somewhere in the house, Declan's voice booms. Are they done kissing yet? The twins want to open presents. Grandpa! River's mortified voice carries clearly. Give them a minute. Landon groans, dropping his head to Jude's shoulder. Come on, he says, taking her hand. Let's go face the chaos. I can't wait, Jude says, and means it. They walk toward the living room together, hand in hand, and when they enter, the whole family erupts in cheers. River is grinning. Allegra winks. Declan is already launching into a terrible joke. The twins are bouncing around like they've had 18 cups of coffee. Beckett hands Jude hot chocolate. Lauren squeezes her shoulder in welcome. And Bonnie, sweet, perfect Bonnie, is in Allegra's arms, babbling happily. Jude takes her daughter and settles onto the couch next to Landon. This time yesterday, she was alone, stranded, terrified. Now she's surrounded by warmth and laughter, and a family that apparently includes werewolves. Now she's allowing herself to hope, really hope, for the first time in years. So maybe this Christmas miracle isn't over yet. Maybe it's just beginning. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this story. If you ever want to suggest an idea for an upcoming story, a trope you love, or a character you'd like to see again, feel free to leave it in the comments. I try to read your messages as much as I can, and they genuinely inspire me. Your ideas are one of my favorite parts of creating this channel, and I absolutely love turning them into new stories for you. Much love, and see you in the next one.